Is radio.
And live on the radio weekday afternoons.
On 100.7 WMMS.
4-1, Kansas City was the final there. The Guardians are off until Friday, where they will be in Texas to play Sammy Sosa, the Rangers. 8:05 Friday night here on WMMS. Of course, the MLB draft happened, and we got our Ralphie. I like that. Pittsburgh Pirates got the number 1 pick overall. They got some ace pitcher from Louisiana State, something like that. The Guardians grabbed a kid named Ralphie Velasquez, the 23rd pick. Did you pay attention to the draft at all?
I mean, I saw that we got that catcher.
No. He's a catcher.
Yeah, he's a catcher.
A high school catcher.
Yeah. From
Garden Grove, California. Boy, how do you get into Major League Baseball as a high school catcher? And how could you have possibly gone to any team other than the Cleveland Guardians?
That's not very uncommon for them to draft high school players.
He graduated from Huntington Beach High. Pardon me. Well, hoity and toity. Ranked among the top left-handed hitting high school bats in the draft. All right, well, he goes number 23.
Way to go there, Ralphie boy.
We got a Ralphie Velasquez. So congratulations to people who pay attention to that. After selecting college players, the last couple of drafts, Cleveland returned. I'm just reading this as written. Cleveland returned to its strategy of taking top high school talent, as it had done from 2015 to 2020. Why is that? To give them more room to mold them? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think so.
Hey, we don't have to get guys from college. Let's grab them from high school. You might remember one, what's the guy's name? LeBron James. I think I'm saying that correctly. Who he was drafted out of college, right? St. Aloysius of the Perpetual Sorrow. Wasn't that his school?
Sure.
Also a catcher.
Just a kid from Canton, as I recall.
So close.
So this was a kid, this Ralphie Velasquez was a kid who
Way to go there, Ralphie boy.
they said was committed to go to college. He was going to go to Arizona State. But, you know, under those circumstances, you're in high school and you're like, hey, why put myself in a position to have to deal with college and everything that comes with it? Of course, it's Arizona State, so college in air quotes. But to put up with everything that goes with it when I can just go into Major League Baseball and have myself molded by the greatest minds and athletes of Major League Baseball. That had to have been his frame of mind. If you want to play professional baseball, where else are you going to go than Major League Baseball? These are the teams that win the World Series. And he could conceivably be on that team now that he's part of the...
For probably 3 or 4 years before he plays in Major League Baseball.
Well,
Way to go there, Ralphie boy.
I had no idea that was the case, but nevertheless.
You're ruining Alan's dreams.
But, well, they're not my dreams.
They
They're
are.
Ralphie Velasquez's dreams. He goes, hey, what's the point of not going to college if I'm not going to play Major League Baseball for 4 years? Because what if you get washed out? Then not only are you lacking your diploma from Arizona State, and I'm sure something along the lines of, I don't know, business management.
Communications.
Communications. But you've also been washed out of Major League Baseball. He projects as a power bat. What a great phrase, a power bat. Because it sounds slightly homoerotic, and it sounds slightly vampiric, and a little bit of actual sports sprinkled in. He could find himself in the middle of a major league lineup. So they grab this kid. What do? They just give him 2 hots and a cot for a while, and, pay him anything, right? They just go, hey, man, why don't you come? Would you like to go to Arizona State, or would you like to come to Cleveland? Or does it not even get to that point? How does this work? Or do they just send a coach out to California? Anybody know how this works?
No.
I'm fascinated by how this
system.
Huh?
He plays
The
with
prison says, Bill,
No.
if I've told you once, I've told you a million times. We've got to do something about this Major League Baseball to prison pipeline.
Hey, it worked in the last yard, so why not try it with baseball?
Well,
Longest
but
Longest yard. Yeah,
What did he call it?
The
The
last
last
yard.
yard.
I forgot. Longest yard. That's what it is.
You're
yeah.
thinking of that Sandra Bullock movie
The
where she adopts that
99th
huge
yard.
kid. Yeah, The Last Yard with Burt Reynolds.
The whole 9 yards is the Matthew Perry one.
He was a dentist.
Yeah.
What was the one with him and Salma Hayek? God damn, is she hot.
Fools Rush In.
Fools Rush In. It's a classic, two different worlds thrown together. He's a nerd, and he was skinny, so you know he was in between, like, pills. He was a nerd, or he was straight-laced and Mr. Tie.
And she was Latino. And that
Latina.
Was that Latina.
He met her
Mm-hmm.
on a drunken night,
Yeah.
right? They were both in their mid-20s at that point, so all bets are off. But she knew nothing of his world. And vice versa. He knew nothing of hers. But somehow, and he knocks her up, I think, right? Did he knock her up in that movie?
I have never seen that movie.
You never
Yeah, I
seen
think
Fools
so.
Rush In?
I think
No.
so.
It's fun. I mean, for whatever that time was, I mean, it's the entire movie is a smoke ring. It's cotton candy. There's nothing there as soon as you're done watching it. But it was primo Salma, and dare I say primo Matt Perry, because, boy, she was doing a lot of the heavy lifting for the eyeballs in that movie. Isabel Fuentes, and of course, he was Alex Whitman. This is 1997. There's simply no way to know how old that makes that movie. But, you know, they were trying to make Matthew Perry a movie star. And his personal life got in the way of so much of that. But the whole 9 yards, that was a big hit because of Bruce Willis. Let's not kid ourselves.
It was a good one.
They did a sequel.
Got
Mm-hmm.
involved with the little mob action.
Little mob action.
The whole 10 yards was the sequel.
There you go.
Which I thought it should have been the whole 18 yards.
It's not golf.
You mean 18 holes?
Well, 9 to 18.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's
That's
doubling
not how
up.
it goes.
Yep. Anywho,
Doubling it up.
that's the Irish movie he did. And then he played a guy named Ron Clark in his bid for dramatic film credibility. He was basically like Lean on Me, but with Matt Perry instead of Morgan Freeman or Edward James Olmos or whoever was in that other movie. But I'm a big Matthew Perry booster. But man cannot live on the whole 9 yards alone. So they tried to do him in the rom-com thing and did a movie called 3 to Tango. Anybody remember that with Nev Campbell?
No.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, he did Chris Farley's last movie, who was the other part of Almost Heroes.
Yeah.
It was
that
Matt
Matthew
Perry.
I remember that. I liked that movie.
And so, you know, but I digress. We've gotten there from Ralphie Velasquez,
Way to go there, Ralphie boy.
who is a high school kid who might one day play in Major League Baseball, or at least for the Cleveland Guardians.
Mhm.
So good news for him.
The first place Cleveland Guardians.
Amen.
Finally. Anyway, they're off until Friday. They'll start up a 3-game series in Texas against the Rangers. Then they'll go to Pittsburgh to play the Pirates, who got the first overall pick. Be fun to see the Rays grab him in a couple of years, and then they'll be back home here to play the Phillies. I've got more money to give to you right back into it. It's a chance for you to grab $1,000 from the Buzzard bookie. You know how in real life you'll get money from your bookie, and then it happens every hour if you're lucky. Every hour. That's how it worked for me in Vegas. Here is $1,000 stress-free for you. Good luck.
This is your chance to bet with the Buzzard Bookie and win $1,000 now. Enter this nationwide keyword at WMMS.com. Grand. That's grand. Enter it now at WMMS.com.
Before I move on, I neglected to mention, of course, while we were gone, that the Cavs traded a couple of guys away, too. They unloaded Donnie Osmond.
Nope.
Lamar Stevens.
Yeah.
Never heard of that guy.
I have.
Never heard of that guy. And Draft Capital. I've never heard of him either. But listen, the names in sports, that's
Go
why
back
I'm
to
in it. They
Vegas.
are, huh?
Go back to Vegas.
The names are weirder and weirder in professional sports, and I can't get enough of it. Quite frankly, that's why I'm into sports. So Chetty Osman, of course, Lamar Stevens, and Draft Capital have all gone to the San Antonio Spurs.
Oh, man.
Popovich still running the Spurs? He's still coaching them?
Yeah, he is. He
There
just
you
got
go.
a huge contract
Oh,
extension.
beautiful. All right.
$80 million for the next 4 years.
Oh, there's no way to know how much that is per year, but I'll
Nope.
tell you what, it sure
Pretty good.
sounds like a lot to me.
So who's the new eye candy now?
On the Cleveland Cavaliers?
Yeah,
Probably Larry Nance Jr.
'Cause I
No,
said
Max Strus. I think you would find him attractive.
Max.
Max Strute. What about
gotta look him
Evan
up.
Mobley? What about one of the Mobley brothers?
Well, they've been on the team.
oh, he means new.
New
Oh,
eye
I'm
candy,
sorry.
Because he did like
Well, no,
Chetty.
Chetty's been on the team for a long time. I'm saying after Kevin Love left, he was like the hot, sexy, hot
Max
face of the
Strus.
Cavs.
Bill's onto something. Max Strus.
Look him up.
Now he's
I
a small
looked at him.
forward. That means something different in his world than it means in yours,
Mm-hmm.
Poundcake. But he is he's 20.
Cute.
George Niang, I think, might also check that box.
Is he Greek? He looks. I don't know.
Who?
Max.
Max. He doesn't look like it.
I don't think so.
Actually, he does look like it.
I'm saying I've dated some Greek
else
guys,
are
or
we
well, slept with Greek guys.
Well, he
and
is from
was-
Max Strus played for DePaul. He's a Chicago guy.
Polish.
That's the only reason. Well, of course, that's the only reason I know that name. Is he played for the Blue Demons, and now he's here. He came from the Heat, though, I think. What about Robin Lopez? He's got a wild look about
But
him.
he's not on the team anymore.
Oh, he's not?
He went to the Bucks, I believe.
Oh, he looks like if you put Kevin Love in the wilderness and then ran him through an AI program. That's what Robin Lopez looks like. Hey, Margaret.
Hi.
Can I call you Maggie?
Sure.
Margaret, what's
I don't
up?
go by Maggie, but you can call me Maggie.
No, well, you go by Margaret. I'll call you that.
Hey, so I wanted to see what information you guys knew. This is sort of a sports question about the happenings of Larry Nassar and like he got stabbed or something.
Yeah, I can't believe that dude's still alive.
Right.
Larry Nassar. Everybody remember who? You know, I remember this. I think a lot of people do. This is a big, big story. Larry Nassar was the guy at Michigan State University. That's where two of my older kids matriculate. And he was the guy that got put in prison for life for molesting all those girls on the gymnastics team. He's been in, I think, for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, you know, when they do these sentences, judges try to kind of keep everything above board and they don't get too into it. And this judge that sentenced him was like, if I could put you in hell, I would, or whatever they said. Something along those
It was like
lines.
500 years he got.
If
or
I could
something
give
like
you, yeah, something like that. But this dude got stabbed a lot in prison. He got stabbed twice in the neck, twice in the back, 6 times in the chest, collapsed lung. And they're like, he's stable. Now, stable doesn't mean you're not going to die. It just means your condition's not getting better, not getting worse.
that. They're gonna keep you alive so you can
My
suffer.
Man, I can't believe. Yeah, he got assaulted yesterday afternoon, but he declined to identify the prisoners involved.
See, he knows he ain't snitching.
Well, of course. If you live through this, you ain't going to live through the next one.
Just kill me.
Right.
So for everybody who immediately thinks that high-profile inmates are somehow sequestered off, even if you
Hashtag.
are, there's a way that they're going to find you. But, you know, you think of those prison movies or TV shows or whatever where they do those quick stabs.
Yeah.
They get you a bunch of times. Oh,
Yeah.
pop, 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 pop. You know, when you're in the mess line or whatever. Twice in the neck, twice in the back. 6. So
By one person?
No. I think
Oh.
multiple. That had to be multiple
Right.
guys.
That
I mean,
guy's going like, da-da-da-da. He's like,
I was gonna say,
Jackhammer.
and these people don't have typical knives, so I bet you it's probably just like a shank that has like all this like bacteria on it, all this.
bacteria is probably the least of
But
your
say you get an
problems when you're in
infection.
prison. This guy got stabbed 6 times. Like, I hope I don't get MRSA
But
as
that
he's
would-
bleeding out on his back.
say if the stab doesn't get you, the infection will.
Sepsis or something along those lines.
But
So,
who
Margaret, your question was what?
Well, I just information about it because I just heard like one real quick, and I thought you guys know everything.
We do
But
know, well, at least we pretend very well.
I guess my follow-up question is, do you think if he survives, do you think he's going to return to the same place? Because, boy, they're going to be pissed that he didn't die.
No, I think if something like this happens, they set you off to the side.
Yeah.
I think. I have no idea, but it sounds to me like prisons don't want the press that comes with a high-profile dude getting murdered, when there's already people pissed because it's like 150 degrees in some of these prisons. I don't even know what prison he's in.
I heard Florida. Somewhere in Florida.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. The Coleman Complex in Central Florida.
So it's hot and humid in there.
Oh, my God.
Roaches everywhere.
Oh, but at least nobody's talking about being gay.
Right.
So there you go, Margaret. Okay, thank you. There's Margaret, who sounded strangely aroused
No. I bet the guy probably
by the question about, pardon me? Mary, were we hearing the same person?
I think that we were.
I don't think we were.
I didn't
If
hear
that's what you
arousal.
took, that's what you took away from it. I don't know how I can help you.
I'd be pissed that the guy didn't finish the job. Like, man.
Well, they're sending a message. They're definitely sending a message.
Just kill me. Why are you going to let me suffer?
That's a point.
But isn't
Well, they meant to kill him.
That's what I'm saying.
They just didn't.
So now I got to go back and talk shrimp and make sure they come in. Like, oh, so you just not even bold enough to kill me? Like, what a sucker. Stabs ain't nothing.
Yeah, I don't think Larry Nassar, I don't think he's coming out like Stephen Root in Barry. Larry Nassar is not the guy. I mean, this is his worst nightmare.
He's bold enough to stab me, but he ain't bold enough to finish the job. I'm in here in the hospital bed still talking reckless to you. Now, ain't kill me. And then they'll come in here and put me out of my misery.
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
Yeah.
Oh, reverse psychology.
Yeah.
He actually wants to die.
How you
That's
gotta
what you're
do it?
saying.
Fortunately, these commercials are going to put me out of my misery. I've got to take a break here. If you want to send a text to me, 35192, I will have another Buzzard bike key for you. You get one of those from each one of the shows, a few times a day. Rover's got one, Stansbury's got one, I have one. The next one is going to come between 4 and 4:30. One of these is going to fire up our brand new custom Harley that we're giving away. MMS and Budweiser are giving it to you. In a couple of weeks, by the way, we're going to find out who wins this. But still plenty of opportunities for you to grab one of those keys. So that's on the way. Want to text for something? 35192, AlanCoxShow.com to watch. And you can listen anywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Rover's Morning Glory.
I heard Bill, the host of our AM station, was held up in the parking garage. He's here. What happened?
So it's 4:30 in the morning. Out of nowhere, I look in my rearview mirror and I see a guy. He's got a cup and he's pumping on the window. Hey man, give me something. I mean, he's beating on the window. It's like nose to nose with this guy.
So you weren't held up. I thought like a guy pulled a gun on you. I go, oh,
no,
geez.
no one held a gun. I don't want to overstate what happened.
All right, so breaking news, a panhandler approached Bill this morning. So, okay.
Well, now you're downplaying.
Rover's Morning Glory.
This is Chris Broussard. Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by NOPEC.
Guardians wrapped up the first half of the season yesterday. They fell to the Royals, but the team selected high school catcher Ralphie Velasquez 23rd overall in the draft. He also has experience at the corner infield positions. NBA Summer League, the Cavaliers top Toronto. They'll face Memphis later tonight. And LSU teammates Paul Skeens and Dylan Cruz went first and second to the Pirates and Nats, marking the first time a school has produced the top two picks. I'm Scott Davidson.
Electric bills suddenly skyrocketing? NOPEC offers competitive rates and long-term stability that you can opt into at any time. It's easy to enroll. Go to nopec.org/opt-in to learn more. That's nopec.org/opt-in.
Your afternoon drive is brought to you by the Ken Ganley Auto Group, Ohio's #1 automotive retailer.
Are you a business owner, CEO, or responsible for marketing? If you are, iHeartMedia can help you reach your goals and find new customers. We reach more consumers in your target area than anyone else. And we can give you access to those potential customers more cost-effectively across radio, digital, podcasting, and social. We'd love to show you how iHeartMedia can work for you. From your cell, dial pound 250 and say keyword great results. That's pound 250 and say great results.
It pays to listen. Open your free iHeartRadio app and listen to this station to be entered to win $5,000. Each day you come back to listen on the iHeartRadio app is another entry. The more you listen, the more chances you have to win. Download the free iHeartRadio app for access to winning like never before.
Find out where that back road leads. Take on your next challenge. Enjoy every drive like it's an amusement park ride. When you drive the #1 mass market brand in dependability, you stop thinking about what you can't do and start doing what you never thought possible. Whether it's in the Kia Sportage with available all-wheel drive The powerful K5 with available 290 horsepower, the sporty Forte, or the dynamic and spacious Sorrento. Visit your local Kia dealer today to see what you're capable of behind the wheel of the #1 most dependable mass market brand 3 years in a row by J.D. Power. Kia, movement that inspires.
Call 800-333-4KIA for details. No system, no matter how advanced, can compensate for all driver error and or driving conditions. Always drive safely. Kia received the fewest reported problems among mass market brands in the J.D. Power 2021 to 2023 U.S. Vehicle Dependability Studies.